Hello, and welcome to another Curb Cutouts podcast. I am Ryan Can Do It, and with me I have John. John, say hello.
Hi there.
How's it
How's
going?
everyone doing?
Yeah, right.
Pretty good.
This is a we just wanted to kind of do a little stream today and kind of give a chance for. Sorry, let me get the straw on the picture. There we go. Just wanted to come in and say hi to everybody and kind of have a little stream together that kind of just gives us a chance for people to be able to get to know us. Be able to have a chance to get to know who we are, what it is we do, and also get this video recorded and put on our channel. This will be our first video saved on our channel. We're completely new to Twitch. We have been doing this on YouTube for since John. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think our first podcast was early January, right?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah. So that was our first one, and we just wanted to get back on here and kind of do an introduction to who we are. In case anybody wants to ask any questions, they can come on here and ask us any questions. Follow us on social media and just kind of get to know us. So we're just going to kind of talk about all kinds of little different things here in the stream, and just feel free to hop and chat. Let us know what you guys are thinking, what kind of questions you guys might have, and we'll kind of go from there. So we're going to kind of start out with a little bit about us. So I'm going to start asking John a few questions. He's going to turn around and ask me a few questions. Kind of a little back and forth banter. It's kind of like what John and I like to do, anyways, when we see each other in life. So, and John and I are both in the Portland, Oregon metro area. We're about 45 minutes away from each other, but we do try to see each other regularly as much as we can. Due to COVID, it's been a little limited than we would like, but we've been managing so far.
Yes. Thank goodness for technology.
Right? Yeah. Thank goodness for the ability to stream and Zoom meetings and can't forget Discord. I mean,
Yes.
without Discord, this wouldn't even be possible. So, yeah. So, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. So, John, I guess let's just kind of get a little bit of information about you. So, why don't you tell the viewers here, I guess, what your disability is?
I have cerebral palsy.
Okay.
I have, it's fairly severe, but the nice part about cerebral palsy is it doesn't change once you know, the disability doesn't change. So your abilities stay the same throughout your whole life, and your muscles get a little tighter, but other than that, your abilities all stay the same. But I know there's a lot of people out there with CP that are able to walk, and even in the opposite end, some can't even talk or move their head. All they can do is grunt and point, basically.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of fortunate to be in the middle. You know, it's not the best life, but it's not the worst.
Yeah. Yeah. That's well, and so I guess since John kind of answered his whole question about what he has, I have Becker's muscular dystrophy. It is a degenerative disease. So the way it works for me is I was born with it, but my muscles get weaker and weaker at a very slow, progressive rate over a long period of time. So that's kind of how my disease. It affects all my muscles, lungs, hearts, hands, lung. I mean, basically if it's a muscle, it affects it, including my jaw muscle. Like I can no longer chew steak. I love steak; it's my favorite food in the world, but I can't chew it any longer. So that's definitely a little bit frustrating, but it's okay. It's I'll get steak maybe later on in life, but right now, unless maybe I stick it in a blender, can maybe do that.
Where there's a will, there's a way, Ryan.
That's
We'll get
true.
you fixed.
That's true. That's so true. So true. So John, let's talk about I guess for us is like when we were like, growing up a little bit, even if even like even high school years or anything. What was it like for you? I guess growing up with cerebral palsy all throughout your school years.
Well, growing up with it, because being born with the disability that doesn't change, you
Mm-hmm.
don't really know anything else. I mean, I didn't know what it was like to walk or play sports. All I knew was my wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was a little kid, my wheelchair was a race car, it was a skateboard, it was anything I could imagine it to be because it was all I had. So
Yeah.
I'm living, well, I should say this. We have a miniature horse farm, So living on the farm, your wheelchair was your four-wheeler when you were a young kid, you know, and getting stuck, flat tires, I just always lived the way I thought normal kids would live, but I
Yeah.
wasn't able to walk, but I was still causing trouble, getting stuck, flipping the chair over, and I did it
Typical
all.
kid things, it sounds like.
Yes, nothing was different as far as that goes. Although it has gotten a little different as I get older because people change and, you know, can't get into everybody's houses, can't. There's just some things you can't do as a disabled individual,
Yeah,
but you learn to work around them and, if
exactly.
it's too much for people, they don't necessarily deserve the time in your life. I mean, I've had some hard times with friends coming and going. They don't
Exactly.
realize how much is involved until they hang out with you for a weekend away from home, and then they realize, oh, he needs help with every aspect of eating, bathrooming.
Exactly.
All. So there's very select people that will hang around and do what needs done.
Yeah, it's a special kind of person to be able to um, not only do any type of thing with like friendship, but even even on the whole caregiving spectrum, the side of things. The care that we need every day.
Yeah.
I mean, we have John and I have both been very fortunate that we've had some pretty amazing caregivers that have come into our lives that have made it so we can do all of our functioning things that everyone else is doing on a regular basis on their own without any assistance. I mean, we have to, at least, for me, I got to have somebody help get me out of bed, get me dressed, brush my teeth, feed me, be able to go to the bathroom. That's all relied on other people. And without those other people, I would not be able to do those things at all or be who I am today without the support of, caregivers.
And it really, you know, independent caregivers like we have, it allows us so much more freedom than,
Mm-hmm.
say, going to a group home where, there's one caregiver for 15, 20 people, and you're, you're in that home all day. At least the way ours are set up, we have the ability to get in our own car and
Mm-hmm.
have our caregivers take us places rather than waiting for a bus to go with a group of people. So there is pluses to the way my life is versus the way it could be, but
Mm-hmm.
it's still not as convenient as, just being on the walk and
Yeah, I mean,
drive around.
it has some differences. I mean, for me, something I know that you haven't had a chance to experience is I, was driving a car from age 16 to age 33, and I know that's something you've never been able to do or had the opportunity to do. I know you've been trying to do some crazy modifications. I hear, trying to get a side by side, possibly working for you to be able to drive, which is really cool.
Yeah, the only scary part is I haven't quite mastered how we're going to do the brakes yet.
Okay.
We're currently working on trying to install a power steering column out of a Toyota Prius.
Oh, that now is it why out of a Toyota Prius? What makes the Toyota Prius steering column, I guess, good for accessibility as far as for like your strength and stuff?
Well, I'm not sure as far as the strength, but just
Okay,
the components required. There's no power steering fluid. It
okay,
just it's a computer since it's an electric car. It connects to a 12-volt battery, and then it engages your assistive motor. So there's no
nice,
fluid, there's no pump, there's no,
nice.
it's literally a two-wire setup.
This is
But
good to go. Okay,
when you take a side by side that's not meant to have a regular steering column in it, you have to highly modify all of the steering linkages to get it to line up and function. So we ran into a couple of roadblocks, but we'll get through them eventually.
yeah, but those are, yeah, exactly, roadblocks you'll get through. That's really amazing, John, to be able to have that ingenuity to be able to research that and find out that that's something that could possibly work for you. That's awesome.
Living in the country like I do, it was
You are in the
actually
country. I'm not gonna lie. You are in the country.
it originated from Suzuki Samurais
Oh, okay.
and four wheeling when they'd put the big tires on them
Hmm.
because they wouldn't be able to turn the tires with the Suzuki steering. So
Okay.
they ended up putting the power steering columns in to give themselves power steering. And somebody heard what I was trying to do, and they sent me a YouTube video of how it was done in a Samurai. So we've kind of taken that and modified it to fit the Razor, and we just got a little bit more work to do. And hopefully, by the time the weather gets good, I'll be able to drive.
Great. I can't wait to see some. Hopefully, we can see some YouTube videos of you doing that. That'd be amazing.
Oh
So,
yes, I'll get the camera mounted up and
okay.
I'll go for a ride.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, I know that even like for me, and at least as far as our disability goes, modifications are kind of our life. We have to basically engineer stuff in order to even get in and out of the house. Like I know I've had to engineer some ramps to be able to get in and out of the garage. Had to have cement people come be able to put cement ramp out in front of my house so I can get in and out the front door because for the longest time when I first moved into this house, the only way in and out was through the garage. We had no other exit. I couldn't go out the front door. And our backyard, it's a 9-foot drop out the patio door to the backyard, which that's not going to work in a wheelchair.
Nope. Yeah, that's modifications are like one of the utmost things that I deal with on a daily basis. And
Hmm.
even being disabled my whole life, when I modify something, I go through 3 or 4 different versions of that same modification till I find the one that fits what I'm trying to do. For
Exactly.
instance, like my hands, they function, but they're a little odd. So,
They function.
like, I had a little piece of wood built that my phone cord goes through to give me something to hang on to more than the cord, because it would take me 2 hours to plug in my cell phone.
Wow, that's
So,
crazy.
and I wanted that little bit of independence because when your phone dies, you can't call for help.
That's true. I
So
mean, if your phone's dead, you're not going to be able to call for help.
you at least need your phone.
At a minimum, you need your phone. Yes.
So something as simple as a block of wood with a little tiny slice through it that you can slide the cord through and then pull it back through, and the end won't go through the hole, but the cord will go through the slit. So it's little things like that that you got to be, because, and then I go on Amazon after I build it and see they make the same thing for,
For $2.99, you can buy it on Amazon.
yeah,
So
but it's, you
so true.
know, for me, building is part of the fun.
Exactly.
If you're going to have the disability, have fun with it and modify whatever you can. I mean,
I mean, you have to. Like, I mean, if a perfect example for me is which a lot of people maybe don't know, but we'll go and throw it on the live stream so people know, is I was really into power wheelchair soccer. So imagine basically a power wheelchair, if you can, in your mind. Attach a metal guard in front of it to protect your feet, and push around a 13-inch soccer ball. That's basically power soccer on an indoor basketball court. It's 4 versus 4. So if you can kind of imagine that in your mind, that's basically what I was into. And when it came to that is you had to basically kind of do some engineering and figure out what metal guard could I put on my wheelchair, what modifications could I do to my wheelchair to make it faster, turn better, more power, to be able to do power soccer. And that's really what kind of really, yeah, I mean, I guess even before that, I was the type of kid that would take a dustbuster apart just to figure out how it would work. Sometimes I get in trouble for not putting it back together, but most of the time I would find a way to put it back together. And that was, I grew up with like RC cars, Legos, anything I could do to engineer stuff was kind of what I grew up with. And, being in the position I am with having to use a power chair since age 18, as I've learned to come up with modifications to the chair. Like currently, I have a different lighting kit that I was able to put on my wheelchair, so I can go around at nighttime without being worried about being hit by cars. Um, I've been able to do modifications around the home with ramps. Modifications to my Hoyer that I use to lift myself up and then out of my wheelchair into bed every day. Modifications to even things around the house such as voice control. I know John and I are big fans of voice control for stuff around the house, like turning on lights, turning off lights, um, turning on security cameras. Just be able to do that with our voice has been just super huge and been very beneficial for us.
I don't think I have touched a light switch or a doorknob in probably 6 months.
Would you say that's an added benefit for us, John, that we don't have to ever touch a doorknob or anything?
Well,
or you consider it more of a curse. Sometimes, like there's not times like we go in somewhere, the door closes, and then like, crap, how do we get out? I've been in that situation in bathrooms before where I've gotten in, but getting out, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I can do a regular door handle, but it takes a lot of effort and a lot of. So you just gotta be, cognizant of if I go in, I have to be able to get back out.
Yeah, right.
But luckily, I've been able to voice control my automatic door opener on my house, so that's all voice controlled and even a button on my phone.
Yeah.
So it is a blessing in ways, but like for me, if I don't use my muscles, they continue to contract.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's very important for me to at least reach. That's why I want to get the razor going, because it inspires me to, use the muscles I do have, and it gives me a little bit sense of normalcy. I can go with friends and family on 4-wheelers, and so that's a big goal for that is to use my muscles and be tired. I've had a real hard time lately becoming tired because my mind I'm not using my mind. So I'm not, I'm using it, but it's
not the same. And it's, would you say it's definitely due to the current world situation of COVID that we're in? I mean, for me, I know I have literally been stuck here in the house for basically a year. Sure, I've gone out to go pick up groceries at curbside pickup, stuff like that. But as far as being stuck inside, I've really been, stuck inside for the last, year during this time.
Yeah, we're living in an interesting time. There's no other way to say it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say yes or no, and I'm not a doctor,
but things are interesting time right now that we're in, and it's been tough. It's been tough being able to basically keep stuff going for us because we're so used to going out and doing social things together that now we have to kind of keep ourselves busy in order to keep our mental, status, okay. Keeping our head straight because it's been nothing but like it's been very difficult. At least for me, it's been extremely difficult without keeping my mind busy and doing new projects, doing some electronic LED projects, which I've been doing, which you can find on my YouTube page if anybody's interested in what I've been up to with electronic projects and Raspberry Pis and all stuff over this last winter I've been doing just to keep myself busy, to keep myself mentally sane, because I can't do the normal social aspects that we're used to doing. Something that John and I did before, we'll call it the Rona. It's a nice little PG way of keeping it. Before the Rona, John and I saw each other every 2 weeks at a minimum. And that's because he did power soccer with me. So that was our way of being able to at least catch up, see each other at least every other week. And, now it's been basically, we've been trying to do, Zoom meetings here and there, our podcast now. So it's definitely helped, but it's definitely no replacement for the real thing. And I hope that soon, over the summer, that we can actually do the podcast live together with everyone involved. That's one of our goals for the summer, is to try to get that to happen, because I think that would just be an amazing experience for all of us just to be able to get together, see each other, and be able to communicate with all of you on here, and do a live stream together. It would be fun,
Yes, it would. Can't wait for that day.
right?
It's gotten, for me, it's gotten a little bit easier as it's gone on because
Mm-hmm.
in the beginning it was so confusing with how things were supposed to work and what were you allowed to do and where were you allowed to go.
Exactly.
So I finally just kind of told myself, you know, I'm staying home till this is all done, and you know, it's for my own safety. So I'll just stay home. And like you were saying, for me, before, what was it, 2 years ago, I came into soccer.
Yep. It was at
So
least
that,
2 years ago. Yeah.
so that was 7, 18, some.
Yeah. At least. Yeah.
So before that, I was a super stay-at-home person, and I didn't do a whole lot
Not
socially.
before
Just
soccer. Not the way you explained it. No, you really didn't, did you?
no, I didn't do a whole lot of anything. Mainly because I was scared to go out in public by myself because I didn't want to get stuck or, you know. But seeing other people go to soccer and do things on their own gave me the confidence to then schedule a ride to
Mm-hmm.
go to Portland and do things on my own. So for me, that's going to be quite a hurdle to get back into that comfort zone of
Just
riding with strangers and being alone.
and just going on your own and knowing that everything's going to be okay when you get there, and you're going to have the support you need and the assistance you're going to need when you do get there. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely a fear. I think for me as well, John, is just knowing that being able to take that public transportation and being able to get there safely, be able to participate in a way that, yeah, it's going to be a very rough adjustment for sure because it's something we got used to for quite a while, and to get back into that's going to be very difficult.
I was just telling one of my caregivers this morning that, I kind of feel like the coronavirus was me getting in trouble because I had just learned to, let the anxiety go and, you know, be my own person, not worry about the disability per se. But then when COVID happened, it was like, well, I have to stay home now. So
Yeah,
now,
kind of
kind of,
refocused it on the disability aspect of it again.
yeah. So
Kind
hopefully,
of took away our independence for sure.
hopefully in time that'll, and like you were saying, I've had my fair share of tech projects that I've worked on that I normally wouldn't have investigated or wouldn't have had time
Exactly
to
at the time, yeah.
research or learn. Because I've learned, basically a whole nother operating system compared to what I was used to.
Yeah,
Just,
especially with some of the Raspberry Pi stuff. I mean, it's a whole Linux is a whole other ball game.
just for something to do to keep my mind busy.
Yep, I
I'd
understand
rather,
that.
I can't watch TV. I'm not interested in movies. I don't, you know, reality TV does nothing for me.
Are you sure? Come on, there's gotta be some reality TV out. No Bachelor, Bachelorette, nothing.
No.
I'm just kidding. I know.
Gold Rush, Gold Rush on
Okay.
Discovery Channel, and Deadliest Catch
Ooh, those are
are
good ones. Yeah.
some of the. And the reason I watch Deadliest Catch, there's no way you can't modify that story. That story is going
True.
to be that story regardless. Either there's crab there or there's not. It's not.
There's no
You can't.
crab, and there's crab. It's not
You
something that can be
can't.
like made up, basically, right?
You can't say, "Oh, let's retake that," or let's, because either it's there or it's not. So
That's true. Just
I'm,
having the ability of being realistic on those shows.
I'm a true reality person. I like reality. Don't shoot it 5 times and then tell me it's reality. No,
All right, so for you, it's got to be real. None of that fake stuff. Okay.
and like I was a huge fan of the first couple of Fast and Furious movies.
Okay.
When it got to be when there was cars, jumping out of buildings, that's a little, you know,
That's a little much with jumping on buildings.
yeah, it's.
Okay.
But the first one was, you know, relatable. You could do what they were doing, and that was a real thing.
The real thing.
Yeah, it's not
Awesome.
much for special effects.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I'm with you because some of the special effects on some of the more cheaper, we'll call Netflix movies, as we all know what I'm talking about, where the acting and the graphics is so bad, you're just like, okay, why am I even watching this right now? When you end up running out of shows to watch, it gets rough.
And part of my TV and movie thing is part of the CP is I have a super sensitive startling reflex.
Mm-hmm.
So loud action movies are quite uncomfortable for me to watch. Not that I don't enjoy the movie, but the noise just startles me too bad and hurts all my muscles because every time. The best way I can explain it to somebody. Okay, so try to flex your muscle and then move your arm at the same time.
It's like resistance. You can't.
So just picture any loud noise.
Okay.
Makes me flex, and then I trying to move after that.
And it's more like a permanent flex of a muscle, right? Would you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but some movies aren't really my thing. I'm more of true reality shows and
like
sports. I can get into sports every now and then, but
yeah, for me, it's definitely sports are kind of very limited. I mean, we're talking very limited. For me, sports, I would say we have baseball in person, like spring training, absolutely no problem. On TV, can't do it. It just doesn't work for me. It's got to be in person or nothing. And then second up, it's got to be soccer. Soccer it can be watched on television. It can be watched at the game itself. Like anything soccer, I'm going to be all over it. Like that's, yeah, no problem. Definitely support the Portland Thorns here in Portland. So they're an amazing team, kicking butt, taking names. So I'll just support them and just stick with my soccer. And an occasional car racing, but none of that NASCAR thing. So sorry to those NASCAR people. It's not my jam. It's all good. Yeah, but hey, it's okay. Like I said, people can enjoy it. Like I've been to NASCAR races myself, and I enjoyed it. But watching on TV, it's just not the same as being there. There's nothing better than being like in NHRA drag racing or any of the I'm having a brain fart right now. That racing, what it's called.
ARCA or
any of like the road racing stuff. I love road racing series. Those are great, entertaining stuff to watch.
Yeah.
What is the last movie that you have watched, John? I might have to pull up my Netflix to get the answer to this myself, so don't feel bad if you don't know.
I know
what it is. I mean, any movie, like the last movie you watched. I know exactly what mine is. Want me to go first?
The last movie I watched was, let's see, it was a Nitro Circus movie.
Okay.
The gentleman that was paralyzed on a motorcycle.
Oh, yeah, okay. I think you ended up sharing that on our Discord server, if I remember.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And it starts out so you don't know how he was paralyzed, but in the end you realize that he was paralyzed by a motorcycle, and then he worked his way to get back on that same motorcycle and do another backflip as a disabled motorcycle rider.
That is such an inspiration. That is just crazy. Not even inspiration. That's just like inspiration is not the right word. Excuse me. That's not the proper word. Even the word I'm trying to go is just that's astonishing to be able to. I mean, for him to be hurt, become paralyzed from that motorcycle injury, and get back on that same motorcycle to do that same trick again. That's just crazy.
Yeah, you can find it on YouTube. I believe the name of it is Never Say Can't.
Yep, that sounds right.
So then you can see the whole ordeal from when he was very first hurt to when he got back on the bike.
And I definitely recommend people go and check that out. It's an amazing story. So
I like things like that that give me, give me drive, give me motivation to continue all my projects and
just kind of keep things going.
show me that life's not over.
No, it's far from over, man. We're just getting started. What are you talking about? We got this podcast going on now.
Even stuck at home, I mean, so much you can do. Don't stop.
Yeah, exactly.
It's easy to sit in your room and not do anything, but
Just got to keep motivated and keep your mind busy. You know, fill up yourself with projects you never think you'd even do, or learn a new programming language, or even learn a new programming language at all. Like, say you don't even know programming, just learn it, or learn how to do, make your own graphics, make your own overlays. Anything you can do, is Twitch related. It's definitely recommend to learn how to do. If you're looking for something to keep your mind busy, it works really well.
I'm not gonna lie, I am probably 90% self-taught. All of my technology skills just on YouTube, and
Yep.
that's how I like to learn. I learn by mistakes.
I'd say I'm like at like 82%. I'm not quite at that high percentage as you are, but I'm up there. I did go to a little bit of some college for some of the stuff that I do know, but for the most part, 82% at least of it's all been self-taught on how to do, including making our graphics and stuff here for our Twitch channel, our YouTube channel, Facebook, all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I love to learn, so
yeah.
And I knew early on that college wasn't an option.
Even like a community college at all?
I went about half a year.
Okay.
And then I realized what was happening was I would come home and do homework till 9:30, 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And I was only going to school 2 days a week.
Okay.
But it was everything I could do to keep up with the workload of that college. And then I realized, you know what? They're basically just telling you what books to read and what pages to read. So why can't I just, pursue what I want to learn and not have to pay the bills to go to college or have the assistant with me to go?
That's true.
I can't write, so it takes, a lot of effort.
Yeah. Well, especially being able to have, somebody with you all the time at college,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough when I was in school that I didn't have to have basically, I mean, I had to have, caregiving, but it wasn't to the extent of, I guess, having to have somebody with me all the time at that stage. So basically, I needed a note taker, and that was it. I was very fortunate at that time. It was a little different for me in that situation.
I'm not saying anything bad about college. It's just
no, college is not. It's not for everybody. And I'm a firm believer that it's not necessary in order to be able to do things in life. Like, you don't need to have that. You could be plenty successful without it, for sure.
And with the limitations of what we are allowed to do,
very limited in what we can do.
With our medical benefits and things like that, you can't do a whole lot. So it's not needed per se. I mean,
true. Yeah. I mean, it's not needed. I mean, I full disclosure, did not finish my degree at all. Definitely did, the college for a few years, but I did not finish the degree yet. It's something I'm maybe going to do later on. But as of right now, I have not done that yet. So
I spend a lot of time helping friends and family, just volunteering,
A lot of volunteering, yep.
Your computer's broken, oh, bring it over,
We walk them through it, how to instruct them on how to fix it, what to do exactly.
Yeah. So
yeah, we're kind of the IT department for the family.
It's in a way, it's
and but it's a volunteer though position, so it's not that great. It's not as good as it sounds.
I have something to say about that.
Okay, let's hear it.
I don't know if you've experienced this, but people that refuse to learn their device because you're there.
Ah, okay.
They just hand it to you.
Yep.
Because you need to learn because it's yours.
Here, show me how to do this. Oh, show me how to do this again. Oh, show me how to do it again. It's like, no, you need to, I've shown you. You need to try it yourself.
Or do it for me.
True.
Don't show me, just do it.
Right?
It's like, yeah.
So let's, you want to, we're right at that 38-minute mark, John, so hold on 1 second. We're going to run an ad for our people are like, ad? What? We got ads on here? Yeah. It's a short ad, I promise. So we're going to go ahead and, lost a little connection there. I think it might be getting a phone call on the phone we're recording with. No big deal. Anyways, we're still good. That's all right. We're still live. It's all good. Anyways, so I'm going to go ahead and play the ad. We'll be right back. So this is an ad for Curb Cutouts, and it's our complaint hotline. You got curb cut issues? We want to know about it. Be right back, guys.
About access or lack of proper accessible curb cutouts? Call or text our complaint line today at 505-695-CURB. Operators are not standing by, but we will air the complaints weekly after each podcast. Thanks for helping us raise awareness to lack of or access to proper curb cutouts.
Are we muted?
Yeah, so it looks like I got a phone call literally right before that ad. You gotta love that.
It happens.
It does. But hey, you want to know what? I'm just thankful that we have our own ad made by yours truly and voiced over by a friend of ours who does amazing voiceovers. And I'm very thankful to have friends like that are willing to do voiceovers for us. It's been very helpful. So
it definitely takes a village. We couldn't do this.
Oh no, we could not do this alone. There's definitely been a village behind us to get this live stream, even today. I mean, just the technology and everything was totally against us on our very last live stream, which we won't tell you guys where you can see it at because we don't want people to see it. It was let's just say microphones weren't working. People couldn't talk. It was interesting.
It was that the Zoom meetings you hear about that are just wrecks. Yeah,
that's true.
It was a hot mess.
It was a complete hot mess. But you want to know what? We adapted and we overcame it. And that is what matters in the end. Like, we totally adapted and overcame the situation, and that's huge.
Haven't we been doing that our whole life?
I knew you were going to say something about that. I just knew it. I'm like, oh, that's coming out of his mouth right now. Oh, man. Yeah.
Sorry, but that's, if you can't adapt, you're not going to make it very far.
All right. Well, now we're talking about adaptions now and adapting to things in life. Let's talk about this for a minute, okay? So let's go back a little bit. So we're on Twitch. What do people do on Twitch? They play some games. They do games on here. And we love gamers. Gamers are awesome, especially disabled gamers. We're all about disabled gamers. We want to promote that stuff. We're out there for that. So, John, let's talk about what are you doing right now for gaming? Like, what's your gaming setup? I know you're on PC. I know that. And then what game are you currently, I guess, trying to play or are playing?
I am playing American Truck Simulator.
Okay.
It's a driving sim for semi-trucks.
Okay.
There's a European version as well.
And are you using any special adaptive controls or anything in order for you to do it? Or what do you use for your gaming setup?
Right now I'm using a Thrustmaster joystick.
Okay.
Just a basic joystick, and I have steering mapped to left and right, and throttle is mapped to forward. So I essentially drive just as though I would my chair, but
Oh,
I'm
that's a nice for a driving game. That's gonna be nice.
driving it through the joystick on the computer.
Okay.
And I've heard that there's a way to map your computer joystick or your wheelchair joystick to your computer.
Yeah, that's something that we're definitely exploring because both John and I, our wheelchairs are capable of Bluetooth technology with our joystick. So it's something we're definitely trying to figure out how to map that together because that would be amazing to be able to use your joystick to drive the truck in the game. Like that would be huge.
Yeah, there's also a couple other small applications that are quite helpful. One is called voice attacks.
Voice attack. You turned me on to that thing about 2 weeks ago, and man, I have not looked back since. It's an amazing piece of software.
Yeah, it helps me it brings a lot more realism to my games because I can't use my fingers to hit keyboard buttons.
Same here, yep.
So turn signals, stuff like that just didn't get pressed because, it was too much effort. But now when I play, I can, make it as realistic as possible, look both ways at intersections. I can shift gears on the fly.
Yep.
I don't have to drive an automatic truck anymore.
True.
I mean, there's just so much I can do with voice rather than my hands. And
yeah.
A lot of my disability is psychological. Like I'm so nervous about doing things that I can't do them. But if I can get my body to relax, and I don't know why, but voice attacks has allowed me to, like,
it allows you to relax in your live stream, would you say, when you're live streaming? Like, does this help you, like, stay more relaxed?
Well, just, I don't know how many live stream gamers you watch, but a lot of them will switch views in, like, a driving game to give the viewer a different,
like, perspective of what's going on.
To see what's going on outside. But I could never hit the button with my hand.
You could never reach a key to switch to view. Yeah, okay.
Good enough I could, but then I end up crashing,
Run into walls. Yeah, that's not the thing you want to have happen.
So with voice attacks, I'm able to set a voice command of camera, and then it switches the camera to the outside view for 5 seconds, and then automatically goes back inside.
Okay.
So if I see like a straightaway where I can give the viewer an outside view, I can just say the word camera and it switches views for 5 seconds. And by that time, I'm back in the truck and I can see to turn the corner or whatever. So it's made it a little funner for me as far as live streaming, because who wants to look out the window for
we got an hour looking out the window of the truck. That's all the view you get. Yeah, you're right. Well, for me, I mean, you told me about it. I'm like, what? So a little history of my gaming is, oh man, I had to look this up. I had to actually look up the date. I used to do really big into first-person shooters, the Battlefield series, Call of Duty. That was all of my games. The last time I played a first-person shooter, ladies and gentlemen, was 2009. There's a good reason behind that, though. I had to stop playing because at the time I was volunteering a lot, volunteering 6-7 hours a day at that time, and by the time I got home, I was just worn out. Like there was no time to the volunteer stuff I did was on the computer, and then to come home and try to do it, like that's just not gonna happen. Like I just basically ran out of energy to play a game anymore, and then. Recently, John told me about this voice attack, and I haven't been able to type at all on the keyboard for at least 3.5 years. So I thought there was no way I'd ever be able to go back into gaming again. And John told me about voice attack. I'm like, what? Voice attack? What is this? This is an amazing piece of software. I mean, you can use it to open up apps. You can use it to open up games. I mean, you literally can set up commands for anything. And I loaded up some of my old first-person shooters. Took me about 3 days to figure out my login. That wasn't easy to figure out the old Battlefield login. And I figured out the login and got in, downloaded the game, installed it, and set up voice commands for like reload, crouch, jump, sprint, you name it. I basically added all the voice commands I could. And I'm like, okay. So when I started trying to do it for a while, I was like, I am unable to hit the keys on the keyboard to move the character around. So another friend of mine, asked me to join a technology Facebook group recently. And like, hey, have you seen the Microsoft, accessible controller? I'm like, no. So I ended up just recently, within the last week, received my Microsoft Xbox accessibility controller, another micro joystick from Warrior Engaged, a nonprofit, which makes some amazing joysticks. So if you guys are looking for a type of joysticks, Warrior Engaged makes some great stuff. And also the Logitech button kit that allows me to put a button anywhere. I have not quite finalized my my setup yet. I'm hoping to have that done by the weekend to do a live stream on my own Twitch channel at twitch.tv/where I can do it. I'm going to be on there hopefully this weekend for the first time and be able to play some old first-person shooters I haven't been able to play since 2009. So I'm super ecstatic about that. And thanks to John. John's the one that started. He got that in my voice attack in my mind. I'm like, ooh, I think I can figure out a way to game again. So thank you, John.
And, it's not me that gets the credit for that one. This goes back to I'm big into, I love to travel.
Yep.
Absolutely love to travel.
You're a traveling man.
Means that I haven't been able to do it. I was looking on YouTube at people, and I found an aviation channel.
Ooh, nice.
And they post, footage of flying little Cessnas and things like that. And at the time, I was downloading Microsoft Flight Sim for my nephew.
Okay.
And I went into this YouTube channel's Discord server and just said, thanks for what you're doing. Enjoy your videos. Wish there was an easier way to play Flight Sim, So they're the ones that told me about Voice of X because they use it in the Flight Sim to do some of the Flight Sim commands because there's so many of them.
That's true. In Flight Sim, you'd be on the keyboard all day hitting keys.
Yep. So
wow,
it's the internet's an invaluable resource.
Community for sure. You find the right community of a certain game or a certain product, and people can help you out with your in need and give you the information you need. Like I know that I've been very fortunate to get to know some of the people over at Talk Limited. Shout out to Talk Limited, and they've been able to give me some insight as to setting up Twitch and doing any streaming. I've done YouTube before, Facebook before, but I've never done Twitch. So this is all new to me. I know it's new to John for us trying to figure this stuff out, but we're getting there. We're getting it all figured out. So
it's not easy for anybody, but anybody can do it.
Exactly. Anybody can do it for sure. That's very well said, John. Well, I think we're gonna wrap this episode up here. We don't really have a name for it. It's kind of just
sounds good.
Winging it, but we want to thank everybody. Go ahead, John.
I'm gonna see if I can throw my Facebook in the chat here, just so people can
find you. No problem. We'll wait till that gets popped in there. Not a problem at all. I think it's a good idea. And I bet we got to add that stuff in there to our bot, John, so it'll automatically post that for us while we're in. Yeah.
I got a question for you.
What's up, buddy?
When was your first experience with computers? When did you know?
Oh, man. I knew you were going to go that route, computer stories. All right, so my first computer system, I had to go do a bunch of research to figure out when I first got the computer. So my first computer was in 1989, and it was a IBM PS2 286.
Nice.
And that was, I was excited. I had a color screen, a dial-up. I'm like, oh man, I'm getting on America Online like right now. Actually, I didn't get America Online until the second year. I think the first year was CompuServe, and it was It was horrible. CompuServe was a waste. So once I ended up getting on AOL, oh man, life was. I mean, I had chat rooms. I mean, it was all over at that point. What about you? What was your first one?
I don't remember the computer exactly. It was a family computer, but it was a 386, and America Online was the service we had. But
Okay.
I knew early on that there was going to be big in my lifetime, so I needed to learn it, and here I am today, still doing some support for people. I mean, computers run the world basically. So
They do. I mean, without the computers, we wouldn't be here right now, John. We wouldn't be able to do a live stream and have the technology do a live stream. Not only that, but we're nowhere even near each other. You're a good, hour plus away from me, and there we go. We can do this live, which is amazing.
yeah, the internet is amazing. So
Yeah. So there's John's link right there if you want to follow him on Facebook at all. Mine's easy to find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, which I'm not using right now. So I apologize for that for any of your Facebook users. But it's all at Rye Can Do It. So super easy to be able to find. And then also for the curb cutouts. It's basically any social media account you can think of at / curb cutouts. That's where you can find us. You can send us direct messages. Send us any questions. Send us ideas for shows that you want to see, or maybe people you think we should interview on this show. We want to hear from you. We want to hear if you have any curb cut issues you want to bring. Send us photos on Instagram of any bad curb cuts you see. Those are the kind of things. Feel free to tag us on there. We're just, we want to make this a community-based podcast. We really want the community involved. So please reach out to us.
we also want to show the good curb cutouts though too.
Okay, all right, fine. We won't always show just the bad. We'll show some of the good too.
We want to give credit where the good ones are.
That's true. There are some good, in my neck of the woods, there's some brand new curb cuts. So I will try my best as soon as the weather gets a little bit nicer. Still a little too cold for me to go outside, but once it gets a little bit warmer out there, I will go outside and I'll get some decent pictures of some curb cuts and put them on our Instagram for everyone to check out. So,
right on.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching and joining us today. And we'll be hopefully back online. I believe not this weekend, but next weekend we should be hopefully do for another live stream, or maybe John and I will do another one before that. Who knows? We're kind of figuring out some of those details right now. So, all right. Anyways, thank you again, everybody, and we will see you guys again soon. Take care. Bye. Oh.